2026 is the year we clear the backlog. As avid readers, we all have a backlog. We all go into a bookshop and we're like, that book, I need it. I desire, I need that book. And hey man, I've done that so much. I've built up a backlog that has basically filled a whole other shelf. That's probably 50 to maybe 80 books. I've not counted yet, but it is a lot. So 2026 is the year I obliterate, I clear, I delete that entire backlog. I will not be buying any books, but if someone wants to give me books, you know I won't say no. I will not be buying books until I clear every single book from that backlog. And I'm going to do it. And to do that, I'm going to show you 5 books that I will maybe not be starting with, but 5 books I'm definitely excited to read to clear that backlog. So let's get right to it. The first book we're going to be reading is Han Kang's Greek Lessons. This book is actually the book of the month for the January book club, which you can join by becoming a member from as little as £1 a month. So if you're interested in reading along and seeing my thoughts on the Greek lessons, you can do that for £1 a month by hitting that join button down below or on my channel. The main reason I'm excited for reading Greek Lessons is because this was the book that denied Murakami the Nobel Prize. The book that denied Murakami having more legitimacy, and I love that. Also, I do like Han Kang. You know, I actually enjoyed The Vegetarian, and I enjoyed Human Acts as much as one can enjoy a book that's that sad and heartfelt and depressing, if you know what I mean. But I know this is going to be an absolute banger, and it's going to be the first book I read this year, so I cannot wait to start it. I probably would have started it by the time this video comes out. So once again, if you are interested in reading along, you can become a member from as little as £1 a month down below or on the channel. The next 2 books are tangentially related, so we'll go through those 2. So the first one is Football in the Land of the Soviets. Football in the Land of the Soviets is about the history of football in the Soviet Union. Football was actually a very big game in the Soviet Union. They were very good at football. I mean, obviously, it covered so much landmass. There were players from what we would now call various different countries who were extremely talented, and they had an extremely complicated but it worked system of football. I won't get into the details because it might bore you if you're not into football, but it was a bit complicated, and but it brought people from very different backgrounds and places together to play football, which is beautiful and why I love football. And also, I do want to be reading and understanding more why, because the Soviet Union were a dominant force, but they weren't winning every tournament. They weren't perennial winners as you would expect a country that was that good at football to be. So that's kind of the reason I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a light-hearted, less, intense book. Even when it comes to the amount of information, I don't think it's going to be super duper information heavy, and it'll probably be presented in a bit more of like a pop science kind of way, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Pop history, if you will. The other football book I want to read is The Quality of Madness, A Life of Marcelo Bielsa. So if you don't know who Marcelo Bielsa is, he is kind of I view him as the guy who all the best football coaches love. Like Pep Guardiola, you probably heard of him, credits Marcelo Bielsa for a lot of his own philosophy. Marcelo Bielsa never really popped off here in Europe. He did manage Leeds for a while, and Leeds were actually very good under him and returned to the Premier League with him. But his philosophy in football is one that I wholeheartedly agree with. And if you're new here, I do coach football, I have qualifications in coaching football, and I have aspirations of doing that, a lot more. And so actually learning about the life, and actually in more detail the tactics and the kind of personality of a man whose philosophy of football I really appreciate and I personally align with when it comes to coaching football, I'm really excited to reading this. It's a bloody tome though, so I'll get through this. I definitely will, but oh, it's a tome. Heavy is the Bielsa that carries the crown. I don't know, man. Up next is another history book. It is REVOLUSI. This book is all about the history of Indonesia and the birth of the modern world. So there are personal reasons why I specifically want to be reading this book on Indonesian history, but I won't get into that here and now, but hopefully you'll figure out that in the future. But this book really stood out to me, one, because obviously I'm interested in Indonesian history, but also I feel like, at least here in the West, the revolutionary struggles of places in Asia that aren't India. Okay, maybe let me step back. Here in the UK, the revolutionary struggle of places in Asia that aren't India aren't really appreciated or seen as much. And obviously, even myself, I don't really know a lot about Indonesia's struggle for revolution, and it's important as someone who, you know, calls themselves an anti-colonialist and anti-imperialist. I need to be learning about the revolutionary struggles of peoples outside of the areas I am more accustomed with, like India and Pakistan, or the Asian subcontinent, okay? So that's why, I mean, it's different. It's, you know, hey, you know, who else is gonna come to you with like, hey guys, why don't you read this book all about Indonesia's struggle for revolution? I'm just saying, you know, you can only get that kind of, only here, only I would do that, okay? I'm really gassing myself up. But no, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it does look like an absolute, it's a brick as well, so this will probably be one that I get through throughout the year, but very excited for it. And finally, a book that I'm looking forward to, but I've been dreading for a long time, is Antonio Gramsci's Selected Prison Works. So Antonio Gramsci is a well-known philosophical thinker, revolutionary, political thought leader. This is a book I picked up from Houseman's, and they were having a sale of one of my friend's lecturer's books. He was selling a lot of his books and giving the proceeds to charity. And when I bought this, the individual who sold me this book was like, I've had this book for so long and I'm scared to read it. And I was like, I'm also scared to read it, but I will do it one day. I was meant to read it last year, I never got around to it, so I will get around to it this year, hopefully. But not hopefully, I have to do it. I have to get through the backlog. The backlog. It is the backlog that needs to be defeated. So the reason it's a bit scary is because it's very, you know, Gramsci wrote it whilst he was in prison. He was doing a lot of thinking. Again, it's in Italian, so and then it's translated. So again, there's all those layers that build up to the difficulty of books. So yeah, I'm scared. I'm a little bit scared to read it, but also excited to read it. It definitely feels like the book that will challenge me the most this year. I mean, like I got through Capital eventually, but this one probably does have the additional resources that Capital does have as well, so I'd probably have to read some of those too or find those. But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a slog. It's gonna be a challenge. I know this one will be a challenge. Even that Indonesia book, you know, I said that might be a slog. Not a slog, but one I read throughout the year. This one will definitely be one I read throughout the year. It will be a challenge. So those are 5 books for my almighty backlog that I am excited to clear. Let me know in the comments down below what books you're looking to get through on your backlog. And like I said earlier, you can become a member from as little as £1 a month by hitting the join button down below or on my channel. Speaking of a membership, I want to say special thank you to my members for being members. Thank you so much. You are lovely, you are wonderful. And the members, like I said, get additional access to videos, book club, threads, the movie club. This year we've not decided on a movie yet, but obviously the book we're reading, The Greek Lessons by Han Kang. So if you're interested, you can do that from as little as £1 a month. Put that aside. Thank you for getting to this part of the video. Let's clear our backlogs. Let's not overconsume on books and actually read the ones we have. Read those books. Poke. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video with a friend or family member, and hey, I hope you read a great book today.